Hello, goal-getters. This is Tony Woodall, your host for Goal-Getting Quote of the Day on Goal-Getting Podcast. Thank you so much for joining us today. We are excited to share another great quote with you today. This particular quote I saw on Twitter, and it was shared by Rochelle Johnson. She shared several great quotes, and I just want to give her a hat tip for this one. The quote is by Dr. Seuss, also known as Theodore Geisel, but we all know him as Dr. Seuss. Dr. Seuss' quote today is, "Don't cry because it's over. Smile because it happened." And wow, that's a very simple quote, but it's so meaningful in many ways. It could relate to many things. Relationships, jobs, careers, events, lives, businesses, failures, and just about anything. When something ends, you shouldn't cry, or think of the ending of it as bad, or even what happened as bad or sad. Yes, it may be sad for a moment, especially if we lose a loved one or something that we truly care about. But what Dr. Seuss says here to me is that we shouldn't cry, but instead smile. Remember the experience and the fact that it happened. Whether it was a good or a bad experience, we can take something away from that experience. The joy we shared, the love we felt, the excitement we held in our hearts or minds for the time that we had it. A lesson learned, knowing that we won't do the same thing again. A knowledge or skill acquired that will propel us to a greater good. It reminds me of the philosophy and a saying we say in our martial arts that I study. Shikin haramitsu daiko myo. The translation shared with me by the Grand Master and my sensei was, in every experience in life, there is the opportunity to gain total enlightenment, and it's up to us to determine if that experience is positive or negative. Dr. Seuss, or Sensei Seuss, his quote today is along the same philosophy. Don't cry because it's over. Smile because it happened. Choose happiness over sadness. Smiling over crying. Folks, that's an amazing quote, and it really means a lot, and I think that we need to think about that every day. And what I want you to do is go out and make today a great day. I thank you for listening to Goal Getting Podcast and the Quote of the Day. If you like this or any of the quotes that you hear, please leave a comment on our comment section on goalgettingpodcast.com for this episode. It's goalgettingpodcast.com/QOD-40, QOD-40. If you like it, tell your friends. Ask them to come listen to us. We would appreciate that, and we appreciate you listening. And if you have a quote that you want to see or hear on this show, please be sure and let me know. You can write me at tony@goalgettingpodcast.com. And if you have a quote that you would like to share and you would like to create the graphics for it, I'm asking for help because that's probably the hardest part of this process is creating the graphics for the show. I use a product called Canva at canva.com. Canva is a guy, Kawasaki. He's the technology evangelist for Canva, but the product is phenomenal. I use it for creating all of my graphics. What I'd like to ask you, our Goal Getter Nation, is if you want to have one of your favorite quotes mentioned and a graphic of it put on the show, create a graphic, whether you use Canva or another program, it doesn't really matter, but create the graphic for the quote so that it has the quote on it, and much like the ones you'll see at our show notes at goalgettingpodcast/QOD-40, and look at the graphic and put something up, create something like that. And if you join the Goal Getter Nation, you can do so on the website at goalgettingpodcast.com. You can send that to me at tony@goalgettingpodcast.com. I'll put your name on the podcast. I'll put your graphic on the show notes, and that will be all over iTunes, Stitcher, and SoundCloud. And it would be very helpful to me. So I would appreciate your assistance in that if you'd like to. We'll give you all the credit and the mention on the show. I appreciate you being part of the Goal Getter Nation and being a listener to the show as well. So you guys go out, have a great weekend, have a great day, have a great life. Whatever it is that you're doing, go out and make it a great day. Thank you again. This is Tony Woodall. Thank you for listening.